6? What? 6? You know, people don't really talk like this, right? What are you, a 12-year-old boy? 6! I have issues with organized religion. What? 6? Now that I contracted trichinosis, we can do the review of Sausage Party, or as I like to call it, Seth Rogen's attempt to see how far he can get with the MPAA. Sausage Party is the new animated movie starring Seth Rogen, Kristen Wiig, and Michael Cera. It's the story of a hot dog and a bun who fall onto the floor of a grocery store and they have to find their way back to their own aisle or else nothing. That's it. That's the plot. So the story has a really interesting premise. What if food is alive? What if it realized that its sole purpose in life was to be eaten mercilessly by people? I mean, honestly, no one would want to eat me. I taste like Rockstar and kale. Who am I kidding? It'd be vodka. I taste like vodka. Now, when you have something like this, where you bring life to inanimate objects, it's a great idea, but there's a few hurdles to hurdle. With The Secret Life of Pets, it was pretty easy because pets are always sentient and they're running around, and the fact they have an inner monologue is probably easy to understand and easy to believe. In the example of Toy Story, these are inanimate objects which you actually animate. So the idea is that, okay, they're alive, but they're playing dumb and not being alive when people are around because they don't want to let people in on the secret. In this case, the inanimate objects are food. So how do you bring life to those things, and what are the rules? Do they pretend not to be alive when people are around or not? I mean, food running around, that would be crazy. I mean, I guess food was running around in the old days when we used to hunt it. So then in this movie where food is given sentience, then what are the rules? Does food pretend not to be alive so that it doesn't freak people out? Do they not see all the little arms and legs on the food? Do they not hear all the side conversations that are going on? Do they not hear the food singing? And if they don't, why don't they? Why does the one guy on drugs see the food moving and no one else sees the food moving if the food's actually moving? It's lazy writing. And that's how this whole film kind of felt. It felt half well thought out and half just whatevered. So Sausage Party goes for shock laughs as opposed to other types of humor. And when I say shocking, I mean shocking. I'm talking full-on food rape, orgies. It's bacchanal proportions. Bacchanal, look it up. So let's go to the pros and cons. Pro, the acting. Seth Rogen, I think I've liked everything that guy has ever been in. He just has this very charming and everyman characteristic about him. Pro number 2, the concept for the movie. Bringing food to life for them to only see that their whole existence is to be horrendously murdered as food. Pro number 3, the animation was really good. This film had a budget of $19 million. That's less than 20% of what Disney has for their films. They did quite a lot with a very little. Good job, guys. Pro number 4, and this is a big one, the film actually attempts to make a social statement. Whether or not you agree with that statement is something else, but it attempts to make a social statement about religion and about different nations getting along or not getting along. I think their statement about the Middle East was very poignant. And now for the cons. Con number 1 has to be the writing. They went for too many over-the-top, gross-out laughs and gross-out humor rather than actually more intelligent, funny humor. The problem with this is that it becomes very dull after a while. I mean, you just hit people, and after a while you're like, alright. We don't really get to see how talented Seth Rogen and his writing partner really are. When you focus on dick and fart jokes don't take a lot of talent. And when you push the envelope on those, it doesn't really do justice to the talent of these two guys. So, con number 2. Because everything was so much about pushing limits, about dropping so many F-bombs that should have been an F machine gun, all the over-the-top sexual things, it actually became a little boring after a while. Yes, initially it's such a shock, but then after a while, like with everything, you become desensitized to it and just kind of numb and just actually becomes kind of boring. The next con is the writing and how convenient it is. There's one scene where the hot dog is looking for firewater, and he's looking all over, and they go on this trip, and then he just coincidentally happens to be right next to the secret entrance where firewater is. He actually even says, "Hey guys, guess what? Huge coincidence, I'm right where I need to be." This whole thing feels like a bunch of little skits that they just kind of stitched together. Like someone said, "Hey, here's a really funny idea. Hey, here's another funny idea. So let's throw them together and make a movie." And that's the way it felt. I felt like the movie was just trying to get us from one funny skit to another funny skit. In conclusion, Sausage Party was a really great concept made by some very talented people. Unfortunately, those people decided to focus on pushing the boundaries of censorship rather than making a good film. I give Sausage Party 2 out of 5 Dirty Randys. So guys, did you see it? What did you think? Leave me a comment below, and until next time, I'm Paul Leach.